Our brands are all over the important places. Congress, Senate, Malacanang, you name it, pare. May brands kaming magaling dyan.
How I got into acting, knowing it won't be my career. So a little story time. I was always drawn towards acting since I was a kid, but it seems like I had an on and off relationship with acting. In my grade school, we didn't really have a drama club or a theater group, but should there be class presentations or school performances, trust that I'm doing the lead character. Then in high school, I moved to another city, and in my first year as a new student, I was shy to join the drama club. But in my sophomore year, I joined and I played the role of Gavroche in Les Miserables or Les Miserables. If you don't know who he is, it's this kid in the movie. But after my sophomore year, I had to move again. For context, this was back in the day when we had 4 years of high school in the Philippines. And when I saw the theater groups in my new school, I noticed that the juniors and seniors were already leaders of the group. So I was hesitant to join as a new student. But fortunately, our school had plays and short film competitions called PALI. So I was still able to act. In uni, I was determined to already get serious about my career, which was an entrepreneurial route. So theater was no longer part of the picture in my freshman year. But then, that year, I attended a literature class that required us to act, which sparked a fire in me. So I said, what the heck? I'm joining this theater org called Tanghalang Ateneo, even if this won't be my career. And I played all these beautiful characters and just experienced pure joy every time I was on the stage. At the time, I made a clear distinction. Theater was a hobby or a passion, but then I would be an entrepreneur no matter what. And little did I know that theater would play a significant role in molding me, not just my career, but my character. And when I graduated, running a business was not yet an option. So I took an advertising job. I was sure I was done with acting. But two things happened at the same time. One, one of my theater friends became a TV producer, and whenever he needed actors who weren't celebrities, he would tap me. So I got to act in several TV shows, and I'm not just talking about background characters, but one with speaking lines. There was even a show where I had the most lines. Second, the apartment where I lived was in the same village where the Philippines theater legend Natty Crame Rogers lived. I got to know her and she invited me to act in many plays for her community theater. So, again, with me deciding I'm done with acting, somehow I get pulled into doing it. As I was working in the corporate, that's when I was beginning to see patterns. A lot of the characteristics that make me stand out from my colleagues is from my theater background. I was more confident in presentations, thrived in pressure situations, and other things like that. 6 years in, I wrote an article for a newspaper about things I learned in theater that I applied in my corporate job. Then 5 years ago, I joined this coaching program that motivates people that you can be anything you want. And it made me believe, yes, I can be whoever I want. It's time to quit my corporate job, I'll pursue acting seriously, and at the same time, I'll run my own business. I went to a lot of auditions. I even tried hosting. I got acting gigs on TV and some digital ads. I eventually got an agent who helped me land more regular roles. At the same time, I started my own business. It started out as a learning and development business where we provided training for our clients' employees. I personally did communications and social media training. Eventually, the business pivoted into content creation. My business started growing while I was landing acting gigs. Both were becoming time consuming and I had to choose. And that's when I evaluated, what about acting do I like? Why do I keep doing it knowing it won't be my career? And that's when I realized it's not acting specifically that I like, but storytelling. I love taking people on a journey from point A to point B. I love giving life to characters and at the same time developing my own character. And anytime I feel doubt about my capabilities, I go back to the acting techniques I learned. Long story short, I learned and developed a lot in pursuing acting, even if it was not my end goal. You can too. Sometimes we get too obsessed with pursuing a goal that we stop pursuing passion projects. And whether it's acting, photography, music, or playing sports, go and do what makes you happy. Eventually, it will make sense.